Decorating a small space can be difficult, but small can also be absolutely beautiful. You just have to know what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And today I prepared an amazing list of tips and tricks that will help you decorate a small home. They are very useful, easy to implement, and easy to follow. And most importantly, they will help you make your home look beautiful and elegant. Number 1. Prioritize your most important furniture. When there is no space for lots of different furniture, the best thing you could do is prioritize what's the most important furniture for you. So think about the main function and purpose of one of those rooms and ask yourself, what is the most important furniture for you in that room? So if it's a living room, it's probably your sofa, so choose the most beautiful and most comfortable one, but still proportionate to the room. Don't compromise and get the small sofa so you can still squeeze 2 different armchairs. Because generally, I would say don't try to squeeze small furniture into your room because it won't look bigger, it actually will look cluttered. A small room doesn't really mean that it needs smaller furniture, quite the opposite. Have a few pieces that you carefully selected that you really love that will make the most of the room, and your room will actually feel more spacious because of that. Number 2, the key and probably the most important thing that you can do in your small room is making sure that some of your furniture have more than one role. When you're selecting your furniture for your small room, I want you to focus on selecting furniture that has multiple purposes. For example, if you want to have a large sofa but also you want to have a footstool, you could choose a fern top ottoman that will serve you as a coffee table with a tray, but also a footstool when you need that. This way you have 2 pieces of furniture achieved in one. Or in your bedroom, maybe you don't have space for a chest of drawers and a dressing table, but you can have a low height chest of drawers, put a mirror above it, and it can be your bedroom storage as well as a dressing table once you need that. Look for that kind of solutions, because once you realize that one furniture can fulfill a few different roles, then you feel like you don't have to make so many compromises. And also think about decorative pieces in that way. Ask yourself if there are any decorative pieces you like that can fulfill 2 different roles. For example, for me, I absolutely love rustic baskets because they add a lot of coziness to a very modern home. But at the same time, they can be additional storage to your room. So I recommend using them in the living room as a storage for my throws and blankets, but also as a beautiful decorative piece. I talk a lot about them in this video because they add so much coziness and warmth to any room. Number 2, get a sofa with slim arms. If you have a small room, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to get a tiny sofa. Quite the opposite, as I mentioned before. You should go as big as possible when it comes to your sofa because it's the most important element in your living room and a place to sit for you and your guests. But what you should avoid is getting a bulky stout sofa with wide arms. Sofas that are bulky won't leave a lot of room for other furniture and for the movement in your room, and will just make the room feel more cramped. That's why a slimmed arm sofa is a much better option for your room, because these arms won't take too much space and will maximize the usable seating, and everything will feel much lighter in the room. So look for design with slim arms and legs, and that will create a sense of openness. Number 4 is a classic one, but I think it's worth mentioning because still so many people don't know about it. And I'm talking about mirrors. Everyone loves a good mirror, but it shouldn't be only used for checking out your outfits when you live in your home. Actually, a good mirror will not only complement your decor, but also make your room feel bigger because of the magic of reflection. The most effective one from all of them is oversized mirror because it will make your room feel bigger right away. Also, mirrors are magic when it comes to boosting light in a small room. Hang a mirror opposite your window to reflect natural light. This trick will not only brighten your space, but will also make it more inviting and open. But no mirrors are equal, and there are different types to consider. If you can, opt for an antique mirror, because an antique mirror can add some texture and will complement the modern interiors. Or consider an Enigmaze mirror, because it has a patina that can soften the sleek and clean lines of modern design. And what's even better, if you have kids, the mirror of the patina is a great option because you won't see the finger marks. If you can, integrate mirrors into your joinery as well. Especially if you have a small room. A mirror in your wardrobe door will open up the small room and make it feel more light and make your wardrobe feel less bulky. Number 5, we need to talk about lighting, because if there is one thing that elegant and luxurious homes have in common is a good lighting. Even if your home is small, a good lighting will make a difference and will make your home look bigger. But the thing is to choose the right lights. When you have a small room, you don't want to overload it with a harsh overhead lights. I know you might think the more light sources the better because it will make the room appear bigger, but that's not true. So keep the beautiful ambience by using wall lamps, floor lamps, table lamps instead of the harsh overhead light. But obviously the floor lamps and table lamps can take up this precious space we have. Because we're talking about small rooms and we don't want to take away any precious space, I would actually recommend having wall lights and sconces. They don't take up any floor space and they can also act as a decor that will add a luxurious touch to your room. Currently, there are so many beautiful wall lights that are designed for easy installations without the need of drilling, and they are rising in popularity. I absolutely love them. Number 7, free up your floor space in any way you can. I think this tip might be a game changer for some of you. Because we are talking about small homes, that means your floor space is quite limited and you might not even be able to have all the furniture you want to have in your home. So what can we do about it? Instead of putting all furniture on the floor, my advice is to do wall-mounted furniture whenever possible. That's gonna free up some floor space and make it feel a lot more spacious in the room visually, because your eyes won't see bulky furniture everywhere. So what can we actually put on the walls? Floating shelves are a great option if you have a small living room. You can put your books and decorative pieces there. Wall lamps or wall sconces are another great option if you don't have much space for table lamps or floor lamps. Not only do they look beautiful on the walls, they are a great space-saving living room idea. A wall-mounted TV and wall-mounted unit is always going to be a better option for a small room. And they actually look very beautiful. You can see here how much of a difference it makes in a small room when the TV is hung. When it's on the floor, it just looks very bulky in a small living room. I hope you can see the difference. Next one, go for Unfussy window treatments. One thing that not many people pay attention to, and it actually changes the entire look of their room, is window treatments. Even if your room is small, great window treatments are really important because beautifully dressed windows, whether it's with curtains or Roman blinds, can be a room's greatest feature. But in a small space, we have to make sure they are not bulky, as they can be quite overwhelming for the room. So we definitely don't want to have bulky curtains. They will not only take up the floor space but also block out the natural light, and your room will feel smaller and dark. That's not what we want. So I would say have those bulky curtains in different parts of your home where you have more space, and for the small rooms, go for much lighter curtains. And if you go for curtains, make sure that you go for the full length ones, as they encourage the eye upward and will make the room feel tall and more spacious. But please don't try to avoid having curtains because your room is small. If you have some space, they will definitely make your room feel more luxurious. And they also add a lot of drama and interest, which is great. But if you don't have room for curtains, go for Roman blinds. They won't take pretty much any of your floor space and can look so beautiful as well. The last thing you need to know about decorating a small home is that when the space is limited, curved furniture is the way to go. For example, for a smaller living room, a round coffee table is a better option than a rectangular coffee table because it takes up less space. A round coffee table doesn't have corners, so it's more suitable for tight spaces. They allow for easier traffic flow around the room, which works well for small living rooms where the space is limited. So if you have a small living room, go for a coffee table in a round shape, as it will help maximize space and it will also add a softness to the sharp edges of the surrounding furniture, creating more inviting atmosphere. The only thing that I'm not a big fan of are curved sofas. They're absolutely beautiful, but I don't really like them as much because they are not that practical in everyday life for casual TV watching. I had once a curved sofa in my apartment in London and it looked beautiful, but it wasn't that friendly for lying back and stretching out and relaxing on it. And in my opinion, they are not as comfortable as the straight sofas are. Apart from that, I believe curved sofas are beautiful and they add a lot of luxury to the room. And finally, the last and maybe the most important thing that I want to tell you today is don't try to make your home be something that it's not. Accept your home for what it is. There are so many tricks and tips that you can use to decorate a small home, but by its nature, a small home will always be a small home. Embrace its proportions rather than trying to force it to be something that it's not, and learn to love what it actually has to offer. Remember, so often the best things come in small packages. And now, if you enjoyed this video but you would like to hear more tips and tricks on how to make your home look elegant and luxurious, I would like you to watch this video next, as I share so many good tips there. Thank you so much for watching, and please consider subscribing, as I would love to have you here for longer. And I'll see you in the next video.